Do you think the person should be punished?
Yes.
Say that you do a really good job at something with a really good attitude and you work harder than anybody else. Do you think you should be rewarded? Do you know what? That is what justice is. Justice is both good and bad. So if someone is perfectly just, they will punish the one that has done wrong. But at the same time, if you have done good, then they will see it and they will reward you. Now, who is the only one that really can be perfectly just? And why is he the only one? He's the only one that really sees what you do. Now, if you truly believe God exists, and of course you're all here because we do, then you will always remember when you're doing something wrong that who sees you? And is he just? Will he punish and if you do something right and you're thinking nobody's seeing what I'm doing, if you really know God exists, what will you do every time? You will do your best because you know that God has promised that he will reward you. And so God is just and he administers justice, and he's the only one that can do it perfectly. And so we're going to learn about that today. Now, we'll start out with, let's start out with Eddie, since I know that I'll be asked for Eddie if I don't. You know, I know you love Eddie. All right, Eddie, what's going on here today? Well, all right, here's Eddie. Well, Eddie, how are you today? Well, I almost didn't come. I just thought, you're not going to want to have Eddie in class today. Well, Eddie, we're always glad to have you. Well, you don't know what Eddie did. You know, there were some kids at school and they said, Eddie. I said, yeah, you're talking to me down here? They said, yes, Eddie, we're talking to you down there. And they said, Eddie, the teacher has some cash in her drawer. You're short. No one will see you. Go get it, Eddie. Well, Eddie, did you do that? Well, you know, they never talked to me, and that was the first time they were talking to me. And I didn't want to say yes, but I was too embarrassed to say no. So, yeah, I went and got the money. Well, Eddie, I'm just surprised. Well, I felt terrible afterwards, and I said, well, come on, guys, we need to give it back. They said, no way. No, you're not getting that money now. Well, so Eddie, what happened then? Well, they went to the store, and I thought, well, they might get some candy. But they ended up buying some, I can't even hardly say the word, some cigarettes. Cigarettes, I said, no, guys, not that. Please, not that. Well, they did. They did. Well, good, Eddie. I'm glad they did. Well, that's too bad. So anyway, Eddie, yeah, I just felt terrible. Well, I'm surprised you did that, Eddie, but you're going to have good news today when we have our memory verse. Well, I don't know how there can be any good news for Eddie at all. Well, God says that when we accept the Lord, we will sin. Yeah, I thought that was over, but I did. Oh, in such a big way, too. Yes, Eddie. Well, you know, it's been really tough, hasn't it? Yeah, it's a tough day. Well, so, Eddie, you're going to learn what to do when you sin. Whoa, I hope there's hope for Eddie. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've had a sleepless night over this, but I came anyway. I'm glad you did, Eddie. All right, well, I'll see you later. I can hardly wait to hear what Eddie can do now. Poor Eddie. You know, he just has a rough time. But I want to say,